What's up, you guys, and welcome back to some more rSlash Real Talk Stories with your boy RT and my dude Dale. Y'all, today we're going to dive into some rSlash Real Talk Am I the A-hole stories where OP cusses grandma out, y'all. Not grandma, y'all. There's so many things that you can do with grandma. You can mess with grandma. You can joke with grandma. You can prank grandma, sit down and have conversations with grandma. But cussing grandma out, that's like one of the 7 deadly sins right there, y'all. But you know what? I want to hear your thoughts. So without any further ado, y'all, let's dive right on into the stories, y'all.
I know it sounds bad, but hear me out. My grandma, 57, is married to my grandpa, 65. Me and my grandpa were always close. We have gone fishing, camping, and for road trips at least once a year, for as long as I can remember. However, on the other side, me and my grandma were never close. My mom, 30, had me at 17. She is white and my father is black, so I'm mixed. I never knew who my father was. I never really asked who he was either. I have always seen my grandpa as a father figure. My grandma was telling my mom to get an abortion and even made an appointment, but my grandpa got his girlfriend pregnant at 17. So he made it clear that it was up to my mom. Fast forward to now me and my mom live with my grandma and grandpa. She always orders me around to do the dishes, sweep, mop, which I would be fine with doing if she asked me. However, she orders me by saying, and I quote, "Slave, come here. Why did you take so long? Were you pounding down jerk chicken?" End quote. She laughs as if it was funny. My last straw was when we went to a park. I walked in and she said, "Look, the dark light has arrived." I snapped. I said, "What the freak is wrong with you? My whole life you have been a witch?" She said, "I knew your mom should have got that abortion." I told my mom everything that happened. She was pissed. She asked my aunt if we could stay with her. My aunt, being the doll she is, she said yes. My mom and I have cut ties with my grandma. Half of my family is saying I'm the a-hole, but the other half, including my grandpa, say it was needed. But what do you think?
Kudos to grandpa, kudos to mom, kudos to auntie for supporting OP and doing what was necessary to, make sure that OP was in a safe and healthy environment. Grandma, you are racist, okay? I'm just painting it in black and white, no pun intended. If that statement offended you and your racist ways and comments, then so be it, Grandma. Anybody who is racist or who has a racist bone in their body, who does not have the kind of dignity and respect and love for fellow human beings in this world, especially in the year 2023, when that kind of stuff is no longer tolerated by anyone, then you can go kick rocks. So that means the half of the family that turned around and supported grandma and her racist ways, you guys are just as racist in my book, as far as I'm concerned. So y'all can kick rocks as well. There's no excusing that kind of verbal abuse, okay? Now, granted, I don't necessarily believe that cussing grandma out is ever, a good thing to do. But I can imagine, the built-up tension and frustration that OP had been feeling up to this point. I'm sure that mom had said things up to this point. I'm sure grandpa had mentioned things up to this point. At least I hope so. So if it's a situation where, conversations had been had and then this is just, a buildup of a bunch of frustration after every effort had been exhausted to try to get grandma to change the way that she treated her granddaughter, then you know what, so be it. It is what it is, Grandma. You reap what you sow, and I'm sorry your granddaughter called you out and cussed you out, but you know what, that's just what you get for the kind of treatment that you were dishing out to your granddaughter. I mean, that's just so disrespectful. I don't think it's ever okay to speak negatively or in a derogatory manner to anyone, especially in a racist way, being discriminatory because of someone's ethnic background, someone's heritage, someone's skin color, or anything. Grandma probably has a vendetta with her daughter because she had relations with a person of color. Grandma probably didn't like OP's dad, but you know what, it doesn't even matter. Kudos to you, OP. You're not the a-hole for doing what you did. It's unfortunate that it got that far. It's unfortunate that it got to that place, but I'm glad you at least stood up for yourself and you didn't sit back and take it. It's awesome to turn around and read through the comments and to see an update and to see how OP posted an update saying that she and her mother turned around and bought a house, so they are currently in a safe space, as well as Grandpa. Get a load of this. Grandpa turned around and said, "Grandma deuces, I'm over you and your racist ways. I'm going to live with my daughter and my granddaughter." So Grandpa's living with OP and OP's mom. So, kudos to the three of them. I hope they're thriving. I hope they're doing well. OP, you're not the a-hole. Grandma, you are the a-hole for your choice words. And as far as I'm concerned, everybody who was in support of you are a-holes as well. Next story, y'all.
My boyfriend and I have been together for several years now. We are like day and night, completely different. He's had several relationships before me. I, on the other hand, never had one. For him, sex in the relationship was a must, so were the previous relationships. Don't judge me, but I didn't want to get more intimate before marriage, and he knew that from day one. After long discussions, he agreed to wait until the wedding. He kept hinting that he wanted more. Because I saw how important that is to him, I agreed to become more intimate. I told him it was a one-time thing. You can imagine he didn't respect it. He always wanted more and more. Now, we get intimate every time we meet. We see each other 1 to 2 times a week. I'd still rather wait until the wedding, but if I refuse intimacy, he gets angry and makes me feel like crap. We've been doing this for 2 years now. I like to practice my religion. Sex is as important to him as it is to me to practice my faith with my boyfriend. I already told him when we met that I wanted someone who would practice religion with me. He agreed to it. He hadn't practiced before, but he wanted to start. Several years have passed and he is doing exactly nothing. He expects intimacy from me, so I think it's fair to fulfill my wish. Am I wrong? I have now fulfilled his wish for 2 years. Why is my biggest wish not fulfilled? Whenever I talk about it, he says I should stop with the topic and that I annoy him. What should I do? He tells me to be patient, but I've been waiting for over 2 years now. I fulfill his love language, intimacy. But he doesn't do anything for mine, religious activities. Don't get me wrong, I don't expect him to be the most religious person, but that he at least tries to cover the basics. I love him very much. How can I convince him? He does a lot for me and for our future. However, religion is my biggest wish and it feels like he doesn't do anything about it while I try to fulfill his wish every time we meet. I want him, but I told him from the start that I wanted to marry someone who practices his religion, and he agreed. Should I end it? What should I do? For y'all's information, we share the same religion. It's just about the practicing party.
So, OP, in this instance, I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do. It's very easy, very simple, very straightforward and to the point. And I feel like most people who hear your story would agree. You need to get up and then you need to walk away from this relationship. It's a 2-year-long relationship of emotional and mental manipulation. Your boyfriend is only looking for the intimate part of your relationship. He is getting his needs fulfilled and he is not considering you or anything that you desire or that you need in the relationship. A relationship is a compromise, okay? In this instance, he's getting everything that he wants and he's taking advantage of the situation. So it's very simple. You just need to walk away. I know that's probably not what you want to hear. I know it's probably not what you want to do, but you need to leave. Your boyfriend is an a-hole, in my personal opinion, in my professional opinion. He's an a-hole in this situation. Nobody should ever hold anyone hostage in any kind of relationship and, use that type of manipulation against someone. The fact that he gets angry when you bring up the conversation, the fact that he gets, frustrated when you bring this up as a topic of conversation goes to show that he has no desire to fulfill any of the needs that you have, and he wants you to continue to fulfill all of the needs that he has. So, OP, very simple. You need to walk away from this relationship because it's not going to get any better. You need someone that's equally yoked as you. You need somebody that's willing to go and dive into this particular relationship with you full force, practicing your faith with you. And if it's a desire that you have to not do something until marriage or to wait to do something at a certain point, you need to stick with your convictions and don't compromise for anyone. As I've said before, I'm a believer, I'm a Christ follower, and I'm not going to gain the world to lose my soul, okay? I'm not going to conform to the things that people want for me and then turn around and lose who I am, Okay, so OP, don't lose who you are. Continue to thrive in what it is that you believe, and you just need to walk away and just cut this guy all the way out of your life. And I'll tell you what, you might think you love this guy, but this is not what a loving relationship looks like. This is what a manipulative and toxic relationship looks like. So if anybody else is out there listening to this and is experiencing something like this, y'all walk away from your partner before it's too late. And I mean, honestly, it's never too late unless you no longer have breath in your lungs, but you just need to walk away because that's the healthiest thing for you to do. Next story, y'all.
I have always had a rocky relationship with my mother. She is extremely opinionated, self-righteous, and will start arguments for no reason. Political arguments in the grocery store are her favorites. It happens so frequently that I will not shop with her ever. I recently got a boyfriend. We're both in our late 20s and he's an absolute gentleman. He opens my doors, grabs me a chair, even though he knows I won't use it because I like to stand, cooks for me every night. You get the idea. I have met his family multiple times, have gone to events with him and his friends. I even introduced him to my daughter and her dad. It has now come the time to start introducing him to my mom. He's asked to meet her, and I've been very hesitant to set anything up due to her past behavior of picking on me and making me cry when I've invited her to meet past potential boyfriends. Last weekend, my family threw a last-minute family barbecue, and I thought it would be a great environment to introduce him since there will be multiple people to buffer her interaction with him. I asked him if he would come, and he said he would love to, but couldn't commit since it was a golf day for him and he wasn't sure how the day would play out yet. But he would let me know. I agreed and said to just keep me in the loop, but no hard feelings if he couldn't make it. I told my mom there was a possibility he could come, but since he was golfing in the record-breaking heat all day, there was also a possibility he would be too tired afterwards. The day of the barbecue, I messaged him a few hours before we started and asked if he would be able to attend, and he said he was heading home because he was overheated and needed to take a shower to cool down before he committed to anything. That was the last message I got from him for the night and just assumed he had passed out for the night, which he did confirm the next morning when he texted an apology and promised to make it up by making dinner for me and my mom at a later date. While I was bummed, I decided that it wasn't a huge deal because he had openly communicated that he wasn't sure if he would be able to in the first place. When the food was ready, my mom asked where he was, and I told her that I was assuming he passed out because he overheated and was probably snoring away on his couch, and the heat probably killed his energy for the day. The golfing members of my family all agreed with that and told stories of times they'd missed out when overheating while out on the course drinking all day, but my mom disagrees and said when she met him, she would have a talk with him about etiquette when invited to dinner. I told her she wouldn't and to leave it alone. During the barbecue, my mom made a comment that when she finally gets to meet him, she can also give him the what's what about her expectations for when you're invited to dinner parties. I firmly said that she should absolutely not be talking to him about that because he hadn't broken any promises, and at any rate it was between the two of us and not her. Last night I mentioned to her that he wanted to cook for us and then said that I understood that she was offended by him failing to show up, but I needed her word that she wouldn't talk to him about it. However, she doubled down instantly, saying she would talk to him about manners and keeping your word. I again said no, she won't, because I know that she would be passive-aggressive, and I don't want her to make a huge thing out of our soft plans for him to come to the dinner. She started again, and I said, I tried to say this nicely, but you're not getting it. You will not be talking to him about this and making him feel bad. End of conversation, and you will respect that or you won't be meeting him at all. And then I left. She followed me out the door and said I was a witch and some other insulting words and slammed her door shut. I sent the following text message to her on my walk home. I was so careful about how I approached that, and you completely threw it in my face like your feelings on the situation matter more than my own when it's my relationship. I'm making the call and you will not talk to him about it because it's not your place. This is the first time you will meet one of my boyfriends. Don't F it up for yourself. I do feel bad for telling her not to F it up for herself, but at the same time, I feel justified in my actions because she simply doesn't listen to me ever. When her actions have real-world consequences for myself in my relationships, and as a result I never invited any boyfriends to meet her because I feel I will be policing her constantly, so she doesn't embarrass me or start arguments for no reason and ruin my relationships with whomever I'm dating. I'm having trouble seeing it from her perspective, so am I the a-hole?
This story comes down to one word, and one word only: boundaries. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. The mother is not willing to recognize and respect OP's boundaries. The mother can be very opinionated, which is perfectly fine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, all right? Opinions are like buttholes. Everybody's got one. So, OP's mom's entitled to her opinion, entitled to her thoughts about punctuality and about, respect and manners and chivalry and all of that stuff. However, if OP turned around and set boundaries, then mom needs to turn around and respect those boundaries. So I do not think that OP is the a-hole. OP, you're not the a-hole for turning around and setting healthy boundaries for you and your relationship, especially understanding the history that you've had with your mother in your various relationships and just like throughout your life or whatnot. Parents, I feel like sometimes get it wrong. And yes, it's a shocker. Parents get things wrong. I know. I'm a parent too, and it just blows my mind to think that sometimes. But parents sometimes get it wrong. It doesn't matter how opinionated or what parents think or what their finalized thought is about any particular situation. Not always is it necessary for you to verbalize said opinion and thought. And I think that it's safe to say that, parents don't know everything that is best for their kids, especially after their kids become adults. Okay, as children, yeah, we can say we pretty much know what's best because we're trying to protect our kids. That's our job at that point. But after our kids become adults, they have minds of their own. We've prayerfully helped them to grow and become, the adults that they are, that are responsible and level-headed and whatnot. So in this particular position, I think that OP's mom should have just turned around, sat down, kept her mouth quiet. Maybe if she wanted to verbalize her distaste for the conduct in which her boyfriend, displayed, that's perfectly fine. Verbalize that, get that off your chest, share that with your daughter, and then move on. But it seems like the mom's just lingering on it way too much, and she's the type of person where she just feels like she's in control of everything. Your mama sounds controlling, OP. I'm just saying, okay? But what are y'all's thoughts, you guys? I don't think that OP is the a-hole. I think that the mom definitely does not understand the concept of boundaries, but you know what, y'all? I could be wrong. I want you guys to let me know down in the comment section what you guys think about this story, as well as all the other stories in today's video, you guys. If y'all have enjoyed today's content, enjoyed today's stories, y'all please drop a like, hit the subscription button, as well as the bell notification icon. That way you guys are notified every single time I upload a brand new video for this community, y'all. If there are any stories that you guys would like to hear my opinion on and y'all would like for me to cover, you guys please be sure to drop them down in the comment section as well. You guys, I always love sharing a little bit of real talk with y'all. But until next time, y'all, many blessings and much love, y'all.